The color wheel is your most basic color instrument. So I thought, okay, it's simple enough. Let's talk about some of the earliest color wheels and how we got to the modern day. I had no idea what I was in for. There is a junk box of old color wheels, and it's astounding, some of the theories that went with them. It turns out that scientists, natural observers, and artists have all just been arguing about the logic or the rules or the world of color. What makes colors different colors, and how do you organize them? So if I do that, that's just gonna have to wait for a whole other kind of class or video. It would take a long time. But I do have some basics for how the color wheel got started, and you will see some echoes of it that made it to the present day. The first color wheel is credited to Sir Isaac Newton, and his color wheel was actually more about light than color. He used his color wheel to organize the different colors of light he saw when he sent white light through a prism and it shattered into those rainbow colors that we all know and love today. He also thought that light and music were somehow very closely connected, and so it's unclear actually if he saw the colors orange and indigo in these shattered light streams from the prism, or if he just added them so that there would be 7 colors for 7 notes. Now, Moses Harris had more of a painter's perspective on color because he focused more on what kinds of colors were hidden in between the 3 primary colors that we still recognize today: red, blue, and yellow. And he also argued that if you put all of these colors on top of each other, you would actually get black. Things got even more contentious, though, with the idea of complementary colors. Now, other people had noticed before that some colors had really nice contrast with specific other colors. However, they argued over which colors those were. For instance, should everyone go by Newton's observation that red and blue were opposites? Or should they follow Goethe, a German poet, who said that yellow and blue were opposites? Actually, he said they were the most opposite out of all the colors because they represented light and dark. Now, Goethe was not a scientist, and he never claimed to be. However, his opinions were very popular, and they actually influenced artists such as William Turner. I can also tell you that it was a man named Benjamin Thompson who first coined the term complementary color. Actually, it wasn't even until the 1800s that a man named Hermann von Helmholtz declared that there were actually separate rules for colors depending on if you're using light or if you're using pigments to create colors. It took him that long just to figure that out? I'm not good at this. I'm so not good at this. I don't understand light. I know it splits into colors if you shine it through special rocks. I do know that splitting light and mixing paint, they're just so different. How could they not have different rules? But it took until the 1800s for them to say, hey, split them apart, guys. You're talking about something, and these guys are talking about something else. And that was about the time the art world at least finally settled on the complement colors we know today of red and green, orange and blue, and purple and yellow. So a lot of different people and a lot of different kinds of people actually had a stake in the color wheel. But why all the fuss? Why are color wheels so important? Well, I cannot answer for the light side of this spectrum. I do know that for artists, it explains the relationships of different color in a very easy and concise manner. So that brings us to our present day color wheel, which most of you have probably seen. And some of you probably even know how to make one for yourself, although we will be doing that in a fun way for today's class project. But it is made up of 12 different colors. What you may not know is that there are 3 layers of these colors. We have our primary colors, our secondary colors, and our tertiary colors. And out of these, each layer builds off the one that came before. Now let's talk about each layer in more detail.